an old 140 pretty hard today. But like I said, we're gonna get a little video of this. I'll bring you back. All right, we get with the stick. Ground's working up really good. There's enough moisture in it. It ain't terrible dusty. We're supposed to get rain tomorrow, so I figured I'd roll as much of it in the ground today. That grassy spot right there where it had that Bermuda grass. It used to be a hay field, and years ago, and they quit with the hay, and the landowner planted a dove field on it for a couple of years, and they didn't do anything on it last year. And then, like I said, he let me plow. It's a little bit dusty. Here. This is where the most grass and stuff was. The other side of them light poles over there is not too bad at all. There's a couple of small spots, but if I run over a time or two with that big disc, it'll cut it on down in the ground pretty good. So, I had somebody on one of them videos about that disc hire, that 10-foot birch disc hire, said that plow with that disc was a mess. Well, that disc hire's got fairly new disc all the way across the back of it on the two back gangs. The two front gangs aren't too bad. It's got new bearings all the way through it. It's got a rebuilt cylinder on it, brand new hose, used tires, but they're like new old trailer tires. That disc is solid as a rock, and if you really think about how much ground that hair has plowed, man, there's thousands and thousands of acres that thing's been open. And not to mention that last year, this time, it was sitting in a cow pasture with a China berry tree growing through it. So, in the grand scheme of things, yeah, that disc might be a mess, but, you know, you got to deal with what you're working with. You know, I got a good deal on that disc, and it's my mess, and it does the job that I need it to do. So yeah, people can go buy a 10-foot hire and pay $5,000–$6,000 for a hire. It ain't worth it. So for what I'm doing, it's not worth it. So that's just one of my little rants. You know, I like everybody to comment. That's fine. I appreciate it. But you know, everybody's got to realize that everybody ain't got a pocket full of money. And everybody can't just go to the bank and say, yeah, I want a farm. So I'm doing this from scratch. Now, granted, I got plenty of equipment to do it with, and I enjoy doing what I do. So I'll bring y'all as many videos as you want to see. And I thank every one of you for watching. this is the best thing since sliced bread, just being on the tractor, rolling over dirt. It really has no better time for me. This is as good as vacation. I would say that spring fever has hit me hard. I probably plowed about, it'd be an acre and a half, almost 2 acres. I started out, I was just gonna plow that. You guys plow that. I ain't quit yet. Yeah, it's one of them things. You get to liking it and you just ride with it. So I may try to plow this section up here. I don't know. It's Valentine's Day today. Today's February 14th, so probably ain't gonna spend too much more time up here. So yeah, spring fever is in full effect. So I'm probably gonna make about 4 or 5 more rounds. I got about equal distance between the power line over here to the left and on the right hand side over there where that down pine tree is. I probably got about equal distance there, so I'll probably bottom plow that out next week one afternoon after it dries out, and then run that harrow over it. Because like I said, it's supposed to get, they're saying a ½ inch of rain tomorrow, so I don't know. But there's a little bit of moisture still in this dirt, so it ought to help it suck it on in whatever we get. And then, like I said, supposed to have some days in the 70s next week. Like I said, you can see that yellow out there. The clay layer on these hills ain't real deep, which does good to grow corn on these hills. But like over in that bottom over there, it drops off and it gets real sandy. This bottom right here is a little bit darker. It's a little bit heavier dirt than that. That right over there is the sand. And this right here, I guess enough topsoil is washed off right in there. It's a lot better dirt than that over there. So, like I said, we're gonna make about 4 or 5, maybe about 5 more rounds around this stuff. We're gonna call it done. I'll bring you back at the end and go over a little bit about this and show you the plow, how I got the plow set up. So, we'll see you shortly. All right, everybody. I meant to do this over there in the field, but my 4 or 5 more rounds turned into finish that section of the field. Another hour and a half, 2 hours. So I think I was over there. I plowed about 2.5 acres. Took me about 3 hours. So, but this is the F296 plow, 214. If you notice how I got my pull bar set up, I got it set all the way over to the left on the round bar, and then I got my front of my tongue pulled all the way over to the left. And that puts the edge of my tire, the edge of my share with the inside edge of my tire, so it rides against that furrow. And that's how I have it set up. So, and what I do is my main lift for the back, I pull it all the way down, and then I've got the stop set right here. I'm sorry about the light. And then I pull that down to there, and I start out in my furrow, and then as it pulls harder, I can adjust it up and adjust it back down. So, but that's the basic layout on it. So I just figured I'd bring you that and tell you about how I have it set up to pull. So I'm gonna probably plow another 1.5 acres, 2 acres over there, and run that big harrow across it again and level it all out, and then run the field cultivator across it. So there'll be plenty more plowing videos to come. So thank y'all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you next one.